Welcome to month 2, where we turn you from someone who runs the occasional PowerShell command into someone who writes real automation. This first lesson is the foundation, the object pipeline, functions, the error model, and how to shape data at scale. Get these right and everything else this month becomes easy. The single biggest shift coming from bash or command prompt is this: PowerShell pipes objects, not text. When you run get-process, each process is a full object with properties and methods. You never parse columns by position. You just ask for the property you want, like CPU or ID. Get-process piped into where -object piped into select -object reads almost like a sentence. Two complets will serve you forever. Get-command finds things, and get-member shows you what an object actually contains. Whenever you do not know what properties are available, pipe the object into get-member and it tells you. And get-help, especially with examples, is the built-in manual. Learn to read help in the console and you will never be stuck. Real automation lives in functions, not loose one-liners. When you add the complet binding attribute and a typed param block, your function behaves like a built-in complet. It gets -verbose and -ErrorAction for free. And validation attributes like validate range and validate set reject bad input before your logic ever runs. Notice the mandatory parameter that also accepts values from the pipeline. When a parameter has value from pipeline, objects coming down the pipe bind to it one at a time. You handle each one inside a process block, which runs once per object. This is what lets your function stream instead of buffering everything in memory. There is also a begin block that runs once at the start, and an end block that runs once at the finish. Use begin to connect, process to work, end to clean up. Here is a trap that catches everyone. Most complet errors are non-terminating. They print red text but keep going, and crucially they slip straight past a try-catch block. To actually trap them, you must promote them with -ErrorAction stop. Once you do that, your catch block fires and your finally block runs no matter what. Remember this: no ErrorAction stop, no catch. PowerShell has several output streams: success, error, warning, verbose, and information. Use write-verbose for diagnostic detail that a caller can switch on with -verbose, and write-warning for things that need attention. Avoid write-host for logic output, because it writes straight to the screen and is hard to capture or redirect. Streams make your scripts controllable from the outside. When you run against thousands of devices, where you filter matters enormously. Filter as close to the source as possible so fewer objects travel down the pipeline. That means less memory and a faster script. The calculated property syntax, a hash table with name and expression keys, lets you rename and transform a column inline. Here we turn raw bytes into a tidy size in megabytes. Finally, which PowerShell? Windows PowerShell 5.1 ships in the box but is in maintenance mode only. PowerShell 7 is cross-platform, built on modern .NET, faster, and gets every new feature, including the Microsoft Graph SDK improvements we use this month. They install side by side, so keep both. The modern one runs as pwsh. Check ps version table.ps version to see which engine you are in. Let us recap. The pipeline carries objects, so filter early and shape with calculated properties. Real work goes in functions with complet binding and validated param blocks. Remember, ErrorAction stop is what makes try-catch actually catch. And use PowerShell 7 for anything new. Your task: write an advanced function called get-large profile. It takes profile paths from the pipeline, validates a minimum size threshold, uses a process block, emits a custom object per oversized profile with a calculated size in gigabytes, and wraps disk access in try-catch with ErrorAction stop. Run it with dash verbose and confirm the verbose stream shows up. See you in lesson 2.